Hey, what's going on, party people? Thanks for tuning in. Usually I don't go live, especially in the middle of the day, but I wanted to do kind of this new thing, a how-to series, a lunch and learn series, and I'm going to be doing a lot more of these. So I do apologize if this does seem a little impromptu, but I'm hoping most of you will be able to catch the replay on this, because I know a lot of people are at work. Some people may be taking lunch now, some people may not, but yeah, I'm on my lunch break. Yeah, I'm actually working. I'm on my lunch break. So I just, a couple of things. I was answering a lot of questions. I was in some comments on the videos, and I said, hey, what better way to really address this than to actually make a video? So you can actually see the title. We're talking about defeating insecurity so that you can unlock your creativity. For those of you who may follow me on social media, especially in particular Facebook and Instagram, you know, I posted a video, I believe yesterday or the day before, talking about, you know, how people don't have an issue with consistency when it comes to creating their content or doing what it is that they love to do. They have an issue with confidence and insecurity. So I'm going to give it just one more minute. Do me a favor, feel free to like, feel free to comment, feel free to engage in the chat. Do me a favor, if you're watching this live, share this with somebody you feel needs to see it, and we'll get started in a little bit. Let me know where you're watching from in the comments, and yeah, click that subscribe button. For those of my people on YouTube, click that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you can be informed every single time I post new content to the channel. But a couple of more seconds and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, thank you guys. All right, again, thank you so much for tuning in to today's Lunch and Learn. For those of you who are watching for the first time, my name is Walter Jeanette, founder and creative director of Create, Inspire, and Solve. And on my channels, on my social media platforms, you can expect to find inspiration and solutions that are going to help you build a better brand, grow your business, and help you create a community around the things that you're most passionate about. Right now, we are streaming directly to Facebook and YouTube. So if you're over on YouTube, as I stated earlier, feel free to hit that like button. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe and click that bell notification so you can be informed every single time I post new content to the channel. If you're on Facebook, do me a favor, tag somebody into this right now, somebody that you think would be blessed by the replay. Again, this is something new that I'm going to be doing. We're going to be doing more consistently, and things will be scheduled and things will be announced so people can actually jump on and participate live. But I did want to go ahead and kind of get started with this because, like I said, I put out a video. If you've been following me, I kind of been doing a spiritual creative series over on Instagram, and I'm called the Spiritual Creative. And there are other elements to that. I'm called the Healthy Creative, the Balanced Creative, and the Wealthy Creative. And so we kind of get to kick off this series, you know, of the Healthy Creative. Healthy, Balance, kind of one and the same, but the Healthy Creative, and this is pending. This is on the backs of the live stream I did while I was out of town doing some work, and we started to talk about consistency. And I know a lot of people say they have issues with consistency and commitment. And one of the things I stated is that you don't have the issue with commitment or consistency. You have the issue with confidence, because when anytime you have to think twice about something, you hesitate. When you hesitate, in creeps doubt, excuses, and then there's a lack of execution. And we can prove that because, you know, there are things when we know that we know that we know that we know, when you're confident, you don't think twice, you just do it. And so I've had an opportunity to talk to a lot of people. A lot of people, you know, have commented on the post and then hit me up, you know, offline and say, hey, I appreciate you posting that. That's kind of where I am in my life. And I just have a heart for creatives and a heart for people across all industries, not just creatives, not just people in the faith-based space, but whatever it is that you do, whatever you love to do. We have an opportunity that we've never never had before. And that is to create the life that we want, whether that be generational wealth, whether that be a life of peace, less stress, spending time with your family. I want you to know that you have a window and an opportunity to do something, and we may not ever get a chance to see that window again, but I know it can be frustrating when you have all of these other things fighting against you. And I think one of the biggest things is insecurity. So a lot of times we talk about branches and roots, branches and the fruit of things, which insecurity is. I wanted to deal with the root of it. So inconsistency, and let me restate that inconsistency is basically the branch or the fruit that comes from the root or the result of insecurity. But insecurity itself is not even the root, because we have to ask the question, where does insecurity come from? And that's what we're talking about today. That's what this series is about. So before we actually get started into the video, I just wanted to let you know that today's sponsor of the video is none other than the firm, myself and my brother, business partner, mentor, best friend, one of my best friends, Elton the I Benjamin. Listen, if you want to get a grip on your brand, kind of like the presentation that I'm doing right now. If you like anything that I do from a graphic standpoint, whether it be for church, whether it be for my own live stream, the presentation that you're going to see today, listen, you want to get a grip on your brand, you want to get a grip on your audience, you want to get a grip on your business, especially in this fourth quarter going into 2022. You see the email there. You definitely want to contact the firm, whether it's advertising or marketing, digital media and web, or multimedia production. We are definitely here to service you. So I'm excited, to be venturing out with my brother on that project. But again, let's jump in while we are here, defeating insecurity so you can unlock your creativity. So I'm going to be posting a link to the article because I don't want anybody to feel like Walt just became a certified licensed counselor, mental health professional, or some life coach overnight or something like that. That's not the case. I am a content creator, and I am a creative at heart, and I have a heart for creatives. And one of the I was reading an article today from Psychology today, and it was talking about insecurity. I was like, wow, how ironic is this, to come across? And I was like, I was going to post it, but I said, no, I wanted to do a video. So most of the information that you will hear me talk about today, you will see the source does come from Psychology Today. And again, I will post that link so you can see that. But Psychology Today says that there are three primary types of insecurity, three primary types of insecurity. That first type of insecurity being based on recent failure or rejection. Type 1, the most primary type of insecurity, is based on a recent failure or rejection. Again, this is coming from Psychology Today. And a lot of times, and when I say I'm talking to y'all, these are things I've had to talk to myself about. These are things my mentors and coaches and other leaders have had to pour into me, because I was one of those people who struggled with inconsistency. If I can be honest, I always had the heart to be an entrepreneur. I always had the heart to be a business owner. I've started 1,000 different brands. I've started, several different companies. You know how you see those people on Facebook where they're forever relaunching? Hey, I'm not calling nobody out and talking about myself. That was me. I've made some mistakes, and I'm very candid about those things and transparent. I've done some bad business, and not because I'm a bad person, not because I'm a liar, a cheater, or a thief. It's because of these things that we don't talk about. It's because of you having to say yes when you honestly can't say no. Why? Because your life is chaotic, it's out of whack. You're chasing the bag, you're taking on too much, and now you've committed yourself to something that your heart is not in and that you're not invested in. Now it leads to mental angst, anxiety, stress, and frustration. Now you don't even want to do the work, but you've got these people money, so you got to do the work. So now you're frustrated, you're scared, you're late, they're calling you, they're hunting you down, calling all your friends, all this kind of stuff. Listen, I told you, I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about me. You know what I'm saying? And I had to, I stepped away. And it's not the first time I've done this, but this is the first time that it worked. And I stepped away, and I really had to do some inspection and take inventory of myself. One of the things I tell people, if it keeps happening with everybody, then they're not the problem. You obviously are the problem. And so you had to get to the root of it. And it's like insecurity and type 1 being based on a recent failure or rejection. And I have to tell people all the time, failure is not an option. It's a reality. Like, you are going to fail. And so many times we get discouraged by the things that are inevitable. The sooner, the quicker, the faster you understand that failure is your friend when it comes to being a creative, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, when it comes to being a business owner, when it comes to being a strategist, sometimes it's the failure that unlocks the freedom for you to overcome the fear of trying something new. I'm gonna let that sit for a second. Sometimes it's the failure that unlocks the freedom from you overcoming the fear of you trying something new. How do I know that's true? Because Psychology Today, they give us a couple of examples of how we can get over that type 1 insecurity. Number one, first thing you can do is give yourself time to heal and adapt to the new normal. And I really wanted to point out and highlight heal and adapt. Give yourself time to heal and adapt to the new normal. A lot of times we just move on, whether it's relationships, whether it's jobs, whether it's home, we just go. We don't take time to heal and adapt. Number two, get feedback. This is key. Get feedback, but get feedback from people you trust. Now, you see where I highlighted get feedback you trust. Sometimes it's the people that are closest to you that do you the most damage. They do you the most harm, not because they want to hurt you, but because they know you. They know all of your proclivities. They know that you struggle with this insecurity and they're doing nothing to help your confidence. That's why most people have insecurity issues today. You got to think about it. When you're born into this world, you're born into this world fearless. Those of you who are parents, who have kids, especially boys, we are special. How many times have you told your son, do not do that, or this is the result that's going to happen? And what happens? He does it anyway, not because he's rebellious, not because he's disobedient, because he's fearless. And what happens is we take that fear and we reinforce it and we attach consequence to it in a way that makes the brain say, wait a minute. Now where I was fearless, now I'm a little apprehensive. And not saying that you shouldn't be apprehensive about jumping off a couch. You know what I'm saying? When you like only 1.5 feet tall and this thing's 6 feet off the ground or something crazy like that. No, but you'd be surprised at how you carry that on in life. And once you get in the school system and all these different types of things, that's another lunch and learn. We ain't got time to talk about that today. So get feedback you trust. That's the main point I want to take. Get feedback you trust. It doesn't mean it's necessarily going to come from the people closest to you. Some of the feedback I've gotten are from, they live in Hawaii, they live in New York, they live in New Jersey, they live in California. I've gotten good feedback from my family, but some of the most valuable feedback I've gotten in my life as it relates to my career has come from people I'm not even close to. And number three, be willing to try a different strategy if necessary. And what I wanted to highlight is try strategy. Some of the reasons that we're failing in our endeavors is because we're not trying with a strategy. We're just trying. We keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. And we know that's called insanity. I want to look at the comments real quick. Brandon says, that's good. Kenton says, that's 100. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Be willing to try a different strategy if necessary, if you have a strategy. But number one, make sure that you get a strategy. Okay. All right. So we've talked about type 1 again. Type 1 insecurity is based on recent failure or rejection. All right, let's move right along. We want to go to type 2. All right. So type 2 is the result of a lack of confidence because of social anxiety. And I believe this is the biggest issue, the biggest problem that we have is the social anxiety, because we care too much about what other people think. Social media is beautiful. It has its place in our lives. It's become part of our daily things. But I tell people, when you wake up and the first thing you do is go to social, you got a problem. The other day when Facebook and Instagram was down, if you went and did this all day and pulled down trying to see when it was refreshed, you have a problem. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, why do you care so much about what people think? You don't understand the anxiety that creates, you know? And so it makes us anxious when we go to social settings, and I'm not talking about being an introvert. I'm talking about when you literally, people in society, they give you anxiety to the point where you can't even be in the room with other people because you're worried about, oh my God, what are they going to say about me? Yo, they're not even thinking about you. Oftentimes I find myself being like, yo, that didn't even cross my mind. Not because it shouldn't. It's just that I'm not thinking about that. All right. And so some of the definitions that they gave were cool as far as how to overcome it. But here's my definition. As you can see, I changed the source to Walter Jeanette. How to defeat type 2. Stop using social media and the opinions of society, y'all excuse that typo, as a barometer for your success. One of the things I always say, if you've been following me for a while, stop using somebody else's finish line to determine how you start your race. You're looking on social media and you're looking at the end result of a thing. These people aren't telling you the behind the scenes. Folks not telling you what I just told you about how many times I done busted my head, how many invoices done went bad, how many times I done screwed up business. They're not telling you that. They show you the end result, the shiny finished product. And what happens is, instead of you paying attention just to yourself, you're so concerned about what people think about you, and you're looking at the finished product, whether that's even real or not. Because Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, this influencer culture we lived in has got people messed up, because people trust Instagram more than they trust their Bible. People trust Instagram more than they trust themselves. How you gonna trust what somebody else said more than you trust yourself? That's insecurity. So you don't have a consistency issue. You have a confidence issue. You have an insecurity issue because you're relying on a false hope to give you some type of security. Number one, I highlighted, stop using social media. It has its place, but I'm on social media right now, but let's just keep it 100. But stop using it as a barometer for your success. All right. So we hit type 1. Type 1 was talking about based on recent rejection or failure. And type 2, based on the lack of confidence because of social anxiety. And type 3, which is the last one, driven by perfectionism. All right, everybody gonna get saved. Everybody gonna get delivered today. I need everybody that's watching this video right now, lift your hands where you stand at right now and say, this one right here is for me. Because I know it was for me. One thing about creatives, perfectionism kills us. They say comparison is the greatest enemy to creativity. I think it's perfectionism. And again, they gave some things you can do to try to combat perfectionism. But here's my definition. Once again, you can see that I'm the source on this. Understand that perfection is subjective. Perfection is subjective. If I don't say anything else, perfection is subjective to the person experiencing your what? Finished product. Understand that perfection is subjective to the person experiencing your finished product. I shoot videos. I've create videos. Credit Dave is in the chat saying, yo, you just got to press record. That's Think Media, Sean Kennel. Do you know how many times I've sat there and going back and forth over a video? It could have took me 10 minutes to finish. I'm an hour later and I'm still over here wrecking my brain. And guess what? The people that are watching it don't even care. You have my peers, we pixel peep. Some things we pay attention to. Something, if you're a photographer, if you're a graphic designer, if you're a brand strategist, if you work in film, if you're like me, you're a content creator, if you're making talking head videos, all people care about is, I wonder what kind of lens did he use? I wonder what kind of camera did he use? I wonder what kind of mic did he use? That's us. But the billions of people that are consuming your content, they don't care. And so we've paid more attention to the quality of the gear than the quality of the context behind our content in the first place. I was doing a little series earlier in the year called Content, Gear, and Perspective, as far as changing your perspective on things. We spend too much time trying to achieve something we will never achieve. And people say, well, you ought to strive for perfection. No, strive to be your best self. If your best self comes short of what somebody else deems should be successful, what did I just say? Stop using the opinions of others as the barometer to your success. It doesn't matter what they think, you're the person that's creating it. Now we get into these conversations about brands, products, and services, and how these things, how it's not really about you, but it's about your audience. Your audience is gonna keep it 100 with you. The people that are watching right now, this is my audience. We can have genuine, transparent, and authentic conversations, and there's some things they're gonna say to me, I understand, I can take that. Because we've been rocking together. We've been rolling together. So I understand what they're saying. But these people out here that don't know you from Adam, that don't give a hill of beans about you. Come on, man. And I'm not fussing. I know a lot of times people be like, yo, Walt, you getting that Mickey Mouse voice and you coming at me. No, I'm passionate about it because this is the mud that I was in. This is the mud that I had to drag myself out of to get to a place where I was confident and secure in myself. And I'm not going to wait till I get 1 million subscribers and write a book and all this kind of, no. I want you to come along on this journey with me. I want you to see the behind the scenes with me. I want you to understand that, yeah, I still have some days I got to struggle with perfectionism. I still have some days I got to overcome, the anxiety of social media and society. There are still some days I got to overcome failure and rejection, but we're defeating it. We're overcoming it. It's the process that gives you the power to create the wealth, the health, and the balance that you want. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. So stop striving for perfectionism and strive to be the best you that you can be and finish it. Can I tell you a secret? All right. Please forgive me if you're not Christian, if you're not spiritual. I don't mean to offend you. That's why this is not the spiritual creative. This is the healthy creative, the balanced creative, but all of it still goes one and the same. When God created the heavens and the earth, after he got done, after he finished, we talked about the finished product. He never said it was perfect. God is perfect. If you believe that, I believe that God is perfect. But once he finished, he said, it is good. He never said it was perfect. He is perfect. So if the creator himself, we were made in his image and in his likeness. So the same creative power that's in him is in us. That's why I call people creatives. We are direct descendants from the creator. That's why we can do things that nobody else can do. People don't understand. If he himself did not even call his own work perfect, who are you to sit here and wrestle day in and day out with something you will never, ever achieve? I know musicians and artists who will wait every 10 years to put out an album or a project. You know why? Because they struggle with perfectionism. You know why their gift never makes room for them? Because they struggle with perfectionism. Nobody cares about okay, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but nobody cares about the wrong notes. Nobody cares, and I'm not trying to make this church, but I'm just saying in general. That's why the pandemic was so beautiful, because it gave people a chance to stop, to say, yo, we want to see the purity and the authenticity of your creativity. But what happened was people were insecure. I don't have the camera. I don't have the lighting. I don't have the microphone. Got a $1,200 phone sitting in your hand talking about what you ain't got. Excuse my language. I know the caption's gonna be like, ain't a word. $1,200 that you making payments on for 24, 30 months. Phone bill $150 because you got to have the iPhone 13. Phone shooting 4K. ProRes, 10-bit. And you gonna sit here and tell me what you don't have? Come on now. It ain't the gear. The gears that's inside of you, the gears that's churning, your heart, your mind, and your soul. That's the issue. That is the issue. So let's do another rundown. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to get out of here. Like I said, I didn't want this to be long. But type 1, based on recent rejection or failure, recent failure or rejection, and how do we overcome that? Heal and adapt. Get feedback you trust. Try strategy. Type number 2, a lack of confidence because of social anxiety. How do we overcome that? Stop using social media. We'll just keep it at that. And type 3, driven by perfectionism. How do you overcome that? Understand, perfection doesn't exist. It is subjective to the person that's experiencing your finished product. I saw Brandy say this earlier. Finish it, Brandy. If you believe that, if you agree with that in this fourth quarter, because don't make no New Year's declarations if you're not going to finish out 2021. 2022 going to be the same way, if not worse, than 2021, 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017. You know why? Because you don't finish. You don't finish. Finish it. And say, I'm good with it. And watch what happens. And it'll be the video you think is the worst. It'll be the song, the project that you think is the worst, that people are the most blessed by. Why? And I believe God is going to do that. Again, I'm trying not to make this religious in church, but God is going to bless somebody in this fourth quarter. He's going to use the foolish thing to confound your wisdom, to make you be like, you mean to tell me I've been wasting all of this time trying to perfect this? And I'm not saying don't perfect your craft, but struggling with making it perfect. And that's what they wanted. Wait, so you don't want this? Like people that sell clothes, like, wait, you don't want this? You want that? It's going to confound you. It's going to confound you. Y'all, I really appreciate the time that we've had today. Call to action. I'm not selling a course. I'm not selling. We ain't selling nothing. The only thing I want you to do is leave a comment. I want you to share this live. If you want to talk more, hit me up. You know, my email is there. Hit me up, the cisb@gmail.com. I tell you that my mantra is create, inspire, and solve. And my goal is to help you build your brand, grow your business, but most importantly, help you create a community around the things that you're most passionate about. Why? Because there's freedom in those things. And that freedom allows you to overcome the fear that comes from insecurity. It's Clergy Appreciation Month, and I'm going to close with this. One of my former pastors said, "What would you really do if you weren't afraid?" I'm asking you the same question today, and I want you to, that's the takeaway I want you to walk away from with this lunch and learn. What would you really do? Relationships, job, family, living situation. What would you really do if you were not afraid? That's the question I want to ask you. I want to thank you all so much. Ross Jones said, where can I find your website? Ross, I will give you that information. That's actually in the process of being redone. We're finishing. That's what I told you. I'm like, I'm not screaming from the mountaintop telling you to do something I'm not doing. So as soon as it's finished within the next week, I will definitely provide that information to you. Brandy, thank you so much. Again, do me a favor, leave a comment. Let's engage, share this live. I love you. Till next time. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great Friday and a great weekend.